All right, I got an entire list of things that I utilize in my life for freedom, it's for more time. I've invested in my life a lot. I buy good stuff. I don't buy cheap shit. Those of us who buy cheap shit, we end up replacing it back and forth. I learned from an old timer years ago, especially in my business, which is construction. And he says we can't afford to buy cheap tools. For instance, you get on a job, you buy one of those cheap little, you know, Walmart cordless drills, and then you end up burning it out when you're using it for heavy work. You see, a lot of people don't understand that even like routers for your internet in your home, you're being sold a bunch of consumer stuff. You're also being sold consumer stuff, even at good stuff like the Home Depot. You know, not necessarily the cordless drills, they're pretty on mark with that, but a lot of their products aren't as good as other stuff. That's why you'll find places like here in Sunnyside, California, where we have Ferguson Plumbing. We have specialty places, you know, that sell actual roofing parts and stuff like that. Redwood lumbers and things that you're not going to get nice and straight at Home Depot. You're not going to get the best of the products. They're specialty stuff made for professional people. So if you search, I think a lot of people don't want to spend the money to buy good shit, but you buy something good, it lasts you almost a lifetime. And you're investing in your life, you're investing in yourself. And what I've found is a lot of these tools will actually help your life out and streamline so you have more time, more freedom, more money, and just enjoy life a little better instead of having to work so fucking hard. Oh my God, I forgot to say, sorry if somebody had their kids in the car. This is a Potty Mouth podcast. The F-bomb just came out. It's the way it comes out. I don't try. But you guys, what I am trying to do today is help you guys out and share a list of things, I don't even know if we'll get through, that are improving my life. There's probably like 50 of them. So with that, let's get into it. And stop mumble jumbling, asshole. Get on with the show. All right, welcome to another edition of Up and In, and I'm your host, Adrian Babshoff. If you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to creating, to improving quality of life for both people and for the planet, exploring alternatives to the daily grind through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving, and living life raw on your own terms. So I'm going to go off on the first one, which is my iPhone. And I cannot believe how much my phone has actually improved my life. In contrast to what most people say, that the internet, the phone is fucking up their life, screwing it all up. This is like a perfect tool to, I think I did a podcast solely on the iPhone. I can't remember. I've done so many so far. But yeah, this is episode 121, or I'm sorry, 122 if I didn't say that. But yeah, the iPhone. iPhone has so many things. And the first one I want to talk about is auto dictation. This has been amazing. I'm a retard. I'm homeschooled, and actually no school. I never graduated, so I'm not that savvy with stuff. I'm more savvy with things like money and running businesses and stuff like that, getting my life together and really taking a look at things and designing, doing lifestyle design. I think I'm actually really good at it because my life's relatively good. It gets better and better every single year. But yeah, auto dictation helps me so quickly, especially with like things like notes. For those of you who don't know, if you're like me, you know you're a Neanderthal. Auto dictation is when you can push a button on your phone and speak, and it types everything out for you. And the more you use it, it seems like the better it gets. You can't really talk at the speed I'm talking at right now, but if you get it real close to your face and say the words really good and clear, you could take down notes. I've got things down here. This is all written on auto dictation. First of all, I write down my recipes, right? So every week, Saturdays is my one day sort of off, and I figured out how to make 3-2-1 ribs, pork ribs, by the way, and they come out perfect. They fall off the bone, jamming, really good. Learned it from the internet. And so I wrote down the recipe. I actually copied and pasted that, wrote down a few notes with my auto dictation, never even had to really sit there and twiddle with my phone. It's very quick. When I come up with ideas and things like, I was like, you know what I want to do on the trip next year? I usually take off on mini retirements for like 4 months out of the year and travel with my kids wherever the fuck we want to go. I forgot to take a color book with us. So I was like, buy yourself one of those big, thick Disney color books and get yourself some Crayolas, and that way you can color with them. And I did that this year on our little vacation. I sacrificed my mini retirement this year by my choice, though, to work, get a new business off the ground. But those were ideas and things I'll just jot down as they come. Very easy, even if you're driving, if you don't feel comfortable, it's perfectly fine. I mean, you don't even have to unlock your phone. You could just say, hey, Siri, go to notes. It'll go to notes. Hopefully it doesn't do it right now. Yeah, I did it, and it'll go there, and you can push an auto dictation, and you can actually start. There's one of my alarms, and we're going to talk about that. I'm supposed to be doing my exercise right now, but I'm over coming home from a job. And by the way, the background noise is my truck, my vehicle. I'm on full blown, having the best financial year I think I may have ever had in such a short amount of time. So I'm busting hump. I've got to get these shows done on my commute, so sorry about the background noise, but I think the content's should be worth it for you guys if you can go through. So yeah, auto dictation writes down my podcast notes. I'll just sit there and talk about it today. I hit the little microphone thing, and I'll be like, today's show is about how to improve your life. 50 things that I've done, 50 things that I've bought, and you just keep going. It just writes everything down. And you can copy and paste it. It goes like a breeze. I use this for my text messages. I use it for just about anywhere I can. It really helps me out a lot. So yeah, recipes, appointments, same thing. On my notes, which is a thing all in of itself on the phone. Instead of I used to write everything down on a little tiny notepad. Now I've got notes. I run my entire business off my phone. I got all my notes in my appointments, material lists, to-dos, all that kind of stuff. It's all right there and handy. All I got to do is pick it up and take a look at it. I'm not sure if I even put on here, but this is how I budget. A lot of you guys don't know I use Apple's numbers because I'm an iPhone user, and it takes me one button. I push the app, it brings it up. I push another button, it takes me over to which is already preset, like say budget for October 2020, which are in the second week, by the way. And all I have to do is push it one more time and get my numbers ready. When I'm sitting at the cash register, they register me up for materials or food that I bought. I just simply punch in the number, it adds it all up for me, all at the bottom. I scroll over to the right, and it shows me if I'm going beyond my budget for the month. Say I want to only spend $4,000, which is kind of like my thing, 35 to $4,000, and it tells me right then and there with just a glance and 3 pushes of a button. So yeah, it does a lot of stuff. And as I said, the ideas, when I come up with them, you know, you guys come up with a good idea and then you forget what it was. You know, we're so busy working and doing stuff, you lose it. Writing them all down. I even think of stuff to research on the internet, things that I'm interested in, and ideas that I have for that. And so that when I'm laying in bed, instead of watching some movie or something, I look at my notes. I have an entire note of just YouTube videos, of what's like YouTube research. And I'll look on, say, what causes soil to go salty, what kind of amendments to use, and things like that. So very awesome, very perfect. I've been writing a book with auto dictation. I like to say it in notes. I'm writing a book about my biodegradable container gardening, starting it now, just fiddling with it. You know, my spelling's horrible, and I can't type as fast, but I can lay there and auto dictate, talking to my phone, and it can do it 20 times faster than me typing. I write poetry, all kinds of different stuff. The alarms, like you just heard, I set those off, and you can do that with the SIRI, you know, the auto dictation. Like when I'm doing my laundry, for instance, I'll put a load on. I know that it takes exactly 55 minutes, and I'll say, hey, SIRI, set the alarm for 55, or set a timer for 55 minutes, and bam, it's on, and I'm already walking. A lot of you guys probably say, maybe this sounds ridiculous, a little overboard, but when you're a single dad and you're running your own business, starting new businesses, and you're all over the place, it helps a lot. It really helps a lot. Timers for your kid. I used to use it for a timeout. My special needs daughter really wouldn't listen to anybody but me. I set up a chair, a little extra tip for you guys. It was a red chair. And when she didn't listen, do her chores, or did something bad, she'd have to take a timeout. I'd say, go sit in the chair, and I'd say, SIRI, set the timer for 5 minutes. And then we talk about it. I'd say, are you going to say you're sorry? She'd say no sometimes. And I'd say, well, let's put you back then for 5 more minutes. And I'd walk away, not giving her any options. But it just helped me. By the time I'm doing everything, those of you who are curious too, I'm a single dad, so, and any of you who is a single parent, you guys know your time is just gone. You don't even have a life. So the phone actually helps out a lot, especially with punishing your children. Cardio. I do cardio in one place sometimes, so when I can't actually go running or walking, when I've got my child in the morning, I would get up extra early, and I'll just set the timer for like 20 minutes. That's like my goal. So I'll do like jumping jacks and burpees, lift up water bottles filled with sand and stuff like that because I'm a cheapo. But yeah, I'll just like jog in one place in my patio, and I'll set that timer, and I get some cardio. There's no excuses that you don't have time. You just have to manage the time, and the phone definitely helps. Next, I'm going to move into playtime. I set my alarms, as the one you just heard earlier, That's supposed to be my exercise. I have a torn rotator cuff, shoulder rotator cuff, so I'm trying to heal that up. I set that time in, so 4 o'clock, I work that out. I got to ice it too, so relatively, sometimes it takes about an hour per day to do my shoulder workouts. But I know that from 4 to 5, that's my time. Another alarm goes off at 5 o'clock. That means get the ice off my shoulder and start dinner, because I practice intermittent fasting, meaning I only eat from 11:30, 12 to 6 p.m., and then I don't eat the rest of the day. So I like to get all my dinners done and get my kids fed and put to bed at a certain time. But also, so that reminds me of all the things I need to do. I don't have to think anymore, kind of like a Pavlovian dog, but also reminds me at 6 p.m. to spend an hour with my kids if they want me to. So it's playtime. So it doesn't all have to be just about business, but it's like a friendly reminder, like, hey, 6 a.m. Every day to 7, you're going to play with them before we brush teeth and give them a shower and put them to bed. So it kind of helps you to remind yourself to spread love and do some good things. Next, I'm just gonna kind of go off these guys a little quick here because there's so many of them. I'm actually almost able to. I think I figured out how to upload my podcast, my shows for you guys while I'm on the road, all from my phone. I'm gonna let you guys know if I'm able to do that. But everything from this little box, and that's all. That's pretty much. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing, but it's got a flashlight. You know what I mean? It's got a compass. It's got all kinds of wonderful stuff. So let's move on to some stuff off the phone, because I might have bored you guys with that so far, but I want to talk about some food machines. I own 2 juicers. I've got a centrifugal, a vortex juicer, so meaning it spins with like a screen. This one I use, I'll go ahead and just say it because I don't give a shit. I'm not sponsored by anybody or anything. But it's a Jack LaLanne juicer. And this thing, I'll do all my like cucumber. Latest has been cucumber, celery. Let me see here, some apples, like green apples, a lot of greens, some spinach and stuff like that. And add in maybe some pineapple juice, some oranges. And that's been my thing, like a green kind of juice. And this is the reason I do this, because it's good for my health. A quart-sized jar, mason jar, like I have here for those of you watching this on video on the YouTube. That's like a salad that's like 4 times the size of that quart jar. So I'm cheating when I'm on the road doing my work as I am now, doing long commutes, working my ass off, not having the time, and also saving from not buying junk food. There's no excuses. I've got it in my DC fridge that runs off solar, which we'll talk about that, all set to go. And in fact, I'll make like 4 of these juices. And I'll also make some smoothies in my blender, which we'll get into as well. But I'll package these all up, basically meal plans, so I'm saving money, eating healthier, and saving time as well. So definitely would recommend getting juicers. The second one I'll tell you guys is a compressed juicer that the Gerson Therapy people use. They've got a 95% success rate of healing people from cancer. I figure how about starting now instead of waiting until I do get sick, because an ounce of prevention is worth an entire gallon of cure, as they say. If you want to get healthier, I definitely would recommend the juicers. The difference with the press one, though, it's a masquerading, is it's not whipping oxygen, so it is said that it's not you're not losing so many nutrients as you do in the centrifugal one, but it's a lot more work, I think, to blend stuff up. But you get way more juices out of leafy greens by using a press juicer. Next, thermal cooker. Oh my God, the thermal cooker is awesome. For those of you who don't know, it's like basically like a giant thermos. I got mine. It's from Australia. It's built very well, all stainless steel. So basically, what it is there's 2 pots. There's this big pot, and with a little pot that sits in the center, so you can cook 2 things at once. So not to make this all about the thermal cooker, what you basically do is you can get like some stew, right? You can get some chicken. You braise it for about 5 minutes on each side. Then you're going to add on all your juices, your potatoes and juice and broth and whatever you got, carrots, onions, garlic. Get it all to a boil for 10 minutes, and you leave a little space for the upper rack, right? For the upper container to go in, and the pot. So you get that all hot, you go and stick this inside the thermal cooker, which is basically just a bigger vessel that's got insulation around and keeps everything all nice and hot. You set that stew in there, then you heat up some water and say you want to do some rice. Well, you heat up the rice until it gets to boiling, you immediately shut it off, put the lid on, put it on top of the other pot, inside the thermos, close the lid, and this thing could sit there for like 8 hours and still be hot. If not hot, it'll be or like really, really warm. And it basically cooks everything for you with the minimal amount of energy. I cook everything on my barbecuer over gas, so all I need to do is do about 15 minutes of cooking. That whole thing, you set it and forget it. You can take it with you. I think for survival, it's an awesome tool. I think it'd be a pain in the ass to clean, but for road trips and for parties and stuff like that, absolutely stunning. It makes the meat, by the way, like the luau they do in Hawaii. If you make like chicken breasts in there, they literally just shred by themselves. It'll just fall apart after you take them out of the water. And second tip, keep the broth and make yourself some soups or stacking functions, as we like to say on the show. Check out thermal cookers. Next one is the hand blender. And that's that little blender, if you guys are familiar with. It's just very tiny. It fits in a glass. Making guacamole, making smoothies on the go to blend up ice, or even better yet, maybe a blended Long Island iced tea. Just saying, you know, if you're thirsty and it's hot, comes in handy. It rinses off very quickly. I don't think I have this in my notes, but I have what's called a man sink. And it's basically a sink outside with a 2-inch pipe, so I don't have to rinse out any like debris. Like debris ain't gonna get stuck in there in a small pipe, so I don't need a garbage disposal. But I take a water hose it's a food grade hose with a high pressure nozzle. It's like a pressure washer just about. So when I'm done with certain things like this hand wand, there's guacamole all stuck inside. You just spray this thing inside the man sink, and then you pretty much, I believe, if you're doing vegetables, you don't need to wash it with soap. As long as you rinse it off real high. I actually use the man sink with my juicer as well. I just wash all the parts off. It's all vegetables. Do it immediately, and I don't have to scrub and wash the damn thing. Man sink, yeah, you got to get yourself an outdoor sink. I think it'll save relationships, and the hand blender as well. I got next my food processor. It has a food processor, for those of you who don't know. It's like a pitcher. It's like a blender. It does many things, I guess, more than what I use it for. But you can you know the agony of doing a carrot on grating a carrot over those little hand stationary ones. This one, you can skin your carrots, potatoes, and stuff like that, feed them through a tube. It goes around in a centrifugal force at high speeds and will just shred everything up in seconds. You can dump if you're making hash browns or some sort of salads or something. You can blend everything up. It even chops everything all nice and uniform. Very handy if you're using a dehydrator, which I don't have I don't own one. Would love to own one. But when you're dehydrating stuff, they all need to be the same consistent thickness. That way they dehydrate all at the same time. And this is more consistent than you using actual knife and saves time. So you might want to check out food processors. Definitely saves time. But one of my newest favorites next is the air fryer. For those of you who don't know, it's basically this high-powered fan, and it's got a coil looks like the coil that goes on an electric stove right below the fan. So it's blowing hot air, hence an air fryer. It's supposed to be healthier for you because you don't use so much oil and things like that. But one thing I did find is it air fries. It hardens everything on top, but it won't air fry everything on the bottom. You have to flip it. Not almost, you do have to flip it. So it's not as good as what they say. But you can set it and forget it. Once you start getting some recipes down, I would like to give you guys a tip. If you're eating French fries, they're actually better the next day. Take them home with you and put them in the air fryer, or hash brown, same thing. What it'll do is give them a little spritz of oil, just a tiny little bit. What it'll do is it'll brown like the French fries, and it'll make them all crispy. I don't know if you've ever had them that way, where they're just crispy on the outside and chewy on the center. Awesome. Wonderful way to heat up meats and stuff like that. If you guys ever heated meats in the microwave, it turns it all rubbery. The air fryer makes it just perfect, man. So definitely worth an investment. Mine was given to me, so that's how I've been messing around. I've been considering maybe investing in a bigger one. This is not necessarily cooking, but I guess it goes in. This is my water filtration system. I've got it where it goes off of charcoal, and it's fed through gravity. It's got a 3-gallon container on the bottom and a 3-gallon container on the top. It's got these charcoal filters. You basically just take your water hose and fill it up. Every time it gets low, it starts dripping. The reason why I like this is there's no moving parts. You can manage everything yourself. It actually gets rid of chlorine in the water, but more than that, it is said that it gets rid of fluoride. And I'm not sure, from last time I checked, a lot of those in-home filtration systems aren't able to handle getting out fluoride out of your drinking water. But the real reason is in a survival situation or in a catastrophe, to be prepared for stuff, is that you can literally take pond water and put it in this thing. They literally said you can get a red dye of food coloring, put it in that top container that filters, and it'll literally come out clear. So it filters out 99.9% Giardia and bacteria and stuff. So you're never going to be without water. You can be on the road, wherever you're at. A water filtration system like this is excellent and very simple to use. Next, I'm going to talk about my barbecuer. And I've mentioned this one before, but I just love it. When it's hot, you're cooking indoors, you heat up your entire house. Why not set stuff up outside? I love to be outdoors anyway, so you can see the birds. Even when it's raining and it's cold, I'm still outside cooking on my barbecuer. But yeah, you can bake stuff in there. You can make bread, pizza. I've done all kinds of things. Made cookies, made brownies. And of course, you can turn it into a smoker, which is awesome. I haven't done that. I've got everything for it, but I'm definitely excited about bringing that in. But yeah, my barbecuer is definitely one of the biggest tools I have, and it's so versatile. So I guess we're kind of all over the place here with my food stuff. We might be done. I think I might have a couple in there. But now we're moving more, it looks like, towards appliances. So the next one is my fans and my spray bottles. It's gotten triple digits here this year where I live. And what I basically did is got those 5-year warranty. I can't remember the name of them, but there's some high durable spray bottles from Home Depot. They're gray. And you can see it on the front. It says 5-year warranty on them. Basically what we do is me and my mom, when it gets 100, like it was 115 degrees, we just mix up a bunch of ice cold beverages, put these high powered fans on us that are construction grade, and no AC. And we just sit there and spritz ourselves with water. Mist each other. You can squirt the kids with it. You can squirt the dog if it starts acting up, squirt your kid, get their attention. Jokes, but sometimes I do squirt my kid. But yeah, fans are really awesome to save on energy. There's a lot. They'll get the stink out of your house. I have a special needs kid, so I change a diaper. I live in a tiny house, so going inside, the whole place smells like open butthole. So it's really nice to have that fan open up a door. It keeps the air circulating in my home. I don't like all the toxins and stuff from the flooring and the paint and stuff like that, so I like keeping everything circulated. They use a lot less electricity. You can pick them up. The ones I have are oscillating, and they're on big stands, so you can actually pick them up and move them around. I use them on my jobs to blow dry roofs when they're wet, to keep, or in a bathroom. If you got a wet bathroom, you need a silicone tub or something. You just put these things on, and these things will keep the air circulating and get everything a lot drier faster. And you can incorporate it with like a little space heater as well. So yeah, fans and spray bottles, man, have been really cool. I use spray bottles for just about everything. I don't know if I have it here in my notes, but those things are good on the farm, just to have in general for cleaning. I make my own cleaning products and stuff, and diaper sprays. But yeah, next one's a coffee machine. I don't really drink coffee, but what's really kind of cool is you can make teas out of it. I also have, I think on here, is a hot water machine where you just push a button and it's got a canister on it. It heats up water within like 2 minutes to make tea. But one of the things for the coffee maker I learned is that you can actually make mead. I've been wanting to brew my own Viking drink. It's basically like a Viking wine, and it gets the water hot just perfect enough. On automatic, you can set it, forget it, and you can melt the honey in there, which you need large quantities to ferment the alcohol. And it's got some really good uses. I think for those of you guys who are drinking coffee, save some money. Stop fucking contributing to Starbucks. Start making your own. They got timers and everything on. You don't even have to think. You can set it and forget it. And that's automating your life. These are things that save you money and make your life a lot easier. Next, I got the water pot, which I talked about. Very popular in England, but I like to drink teas and try to stay healthy. Same thing for my kids. Instead of drinking sodas or we mostly drink ice water and stuff. But I like a good glass of tea with some raw honey in it on occasion. Especially on the cold days, and then sometimes some hot chocolate. Why not? My next one is actually a shop vac. I bought a little mini shop vac. It's a tiny, like little 1 gallon, and I keep this in my tiny house. And this thing definitely comes in handy. Definitely. I use it to suck spider webs out of the corners of the walls. When it has little duster parts into it, it's so much more versatile than a vacuum cleaner. Although I think if I had carpets in my house, I probably would like to have a vacuum cleaner. But having hardwood floors and stuff, these things actually suck up water. So if you ever had damage in your home or emergency, you can use it to clean your car. They're so versatile. Consider getting yourself a shop vac. My next one is a steamer. And I became aware of this about 20 years ago, but never looked into it. Glad, worth every single penny. Basically what it is, you fill up this canister full of water, it's electric, it heats it up, and then it's got this long ass hose, kind of looks like a gas station hose, a little tip on it. And what it does is it just shoots high pressure steam out. Why would this be significant in your life? Because you can use it to sanitize your toilet way better than you can spraying, so you have to get in there and wipe everything. You know what I mean? There's those little spots behind the toilet seat. They actually use these in hospitals when I was researching about it. They actually, you know, all the grout in your shower, that's a lot of areas where bacteria could get into. Just a big old shot of steam in there, which does it in a quarter of the time that it does scrubbing and rinsing. It cleans chandeliers. I use it to sanitize my trash cans outside. You could put it down your sink and kind of sanitize your pipes where you're always reaching down your food, which is kind of gross. But you can use that sanitizer to keep everything pretty much clean, and you can do it in like seconds, man, or pretty much minutes. And I just get all my stuff ready and go through my entire house. I have an emergency porta potty in the back of my truck for work, and I'll sanitize that. I'll do that every Wednesdays and Sundays, and we just get a thing going on here, and it works fantastic. So one of the best investments I've made in a long time. My next one, which I mentioned earlier, was my solar fridge. I'm a freak. I built my truck out, which I'm driving in right now, all out of solar. I got an inverter in there. I've got a charge controller. I can run my laptop, internet, charge my cell phones, flashlights, batteries. But my prized possession is, well, besides my fan up there too, and my lights to change diapers at dark time, which makes it a lot of fun when we're traveling and doing our mini retirements every year. But the fridge has made a huge difference. I went and spent I spent probably about $1,300 on a solar fridge, again from Australia, because they just make good shit. But it's an Engel, E-N-G-E-L. And this is the one the truck drivers use when they go from one side of the coast to the other for days in between. Australia, where there's no stores, no nothing, they put all their food in there and everything, and it can run off your truck battery. But if your truck's not running, it will drain the battery. That's why I prefer to go to solar. But yeah, that's been a game changer. All that meal prepping I'm talking about, that's how I don't eat junk food. I meal prep a bunch of stuff, cook in batches, and then all I have to do is throw it in my fridge. When I go to work, open up the fridge, and bam, I got myself meals. And it really helps not having to buy ice when you're on vacation and stuff too. You can I've got enough to fit 3 30-packs of soda, not just beer. But yeah, you can fit a lot of food in there for at least a week if you plan it right. It's a solar fridge. Definitely worth the investment. I've got these trailer alarms. The reason I'm bringing this up is this guy got ripped off, right? About 10 grand worth of his tools, and that's what I do. I'm in construction. I got these trailer alarms. For any of you guys who's concerned about being ripped off, I think you could even put these in your car. There's this little bubble thing, right? That if your work trailer or anything you own gets moved just the slightest little bit, the bubble hits a point, and what it does is it sends a signal to a pager. Yes, the pager still exists. What I like about this is there's no noise that goes off, no loud horn. So this sets it off if I'm in my house and somebody's trying to break into my shit, and lets me know I can go over there and intervene without anybody seeing me coming. I'm not a crazy guy, I don't want you to think that, but it lets me know if somebody's breaking into my stuff instead of me not hearing that alarm going off. I thought it was just something I would throw in here. Tools. One of my biggest ones has been my automatic cordless nail gun, a framing gun. I do use it for framing. I use it for roofing. Having a hose attached to it, especially doing roofing, has been a pain in the ass. This thing is not quite as fast, but the setup, the versatility of it was amazing. It's a game changer. I think I kind of want to pause on this one because I know a lot of you ain't going to, maybe not even any of you are ever interested in buying a cordless nailer, but the point I want to make is it was $400, and that thing has made me so much money because I don't have to set up an air compressor. I don't have to have a hose. It's less dangerous. It's less time consuming. And it's amazing. And I want you guys to get ideas from these things that I'm sharing with you guys that's made my life better. But I thought that cordless nail gun was an important thing to say because it definitely has made me some money. And when things like that, making investments, gives me more time, which I can't buy, but I can invest in things that do give me time. I'm very excited about shit like that. And hopefully you are too. My next one it's an ozonizer. This one, I guess we're getting into health. An ozonizer I had my teeth worked on by Dr. Vinograd, who did the entire team at the Gerson Therapy. He was also in the documentary, The Inconvenience, no, I can't remember what the hell it was. A Beautiful Truth, I think it was, something like that. Basically, they went and into the dental thing about amalgams and how bad they were and everything. But I had him fix my teeth, and he turned me on to a machine I bought from Amazon. And basically what an ozonizer does is it bubbles your water. So you get a jar of water, you put this, that's like a fish stone, exactly what it is. It's just a little more high powered and it's on a timer. So it'll blow this certain amount of pressure of bubbles for about 10 minutes. And what it does is it oxygenizes the water. And in your mouth, you have, in between your gums, because you see it's in my opinion where you could floss sideways, but you can't floss what's in the, the side parts of your gums. So a lot of food gets stuck up there and it has no oxygen. For those of you who know, anaerobic means it doesn't get any oxygen. We have bad bacteria in our mouth that go anaerobic because they're stuck. You get the food and the bacteria stuck in your gums. Well, by shooting aerobic, oxygenated water up in there, it not only cleans the food that gets trapped in there in the back, it kills the bad bacteria, but lets the good bacteria live. But yeah, by using a water pick, which I should add on there, a water pick is basically a pump that sounds exactly as it's called, the water pick. It shoots a high pressure water out of like a little tip, like almost a needle, and you can aim it at your teeth with that ozonized water in there and clean all the stuff out. And it's disgusting, guys. When you first use it, you'll get this whiff of, even though you floss and everything, you'll get this whiff of just rotten something that just got cleared out of your mouth. After you smell that out of your own mouth, you're like, dude, I'm water picking as much as possible. I'm down to only like once a week right now. Usually I try it, my goal is like at least twice a week. But yeah, I think this tool is worth an investment. I haven't had any gum problems. Dr. Vinograd told me, he says, you will thank me in your later years for using this thing. My daughter's teeth, I didn't have to get pulled. She had soreness and everything. I actually loosened them myself by wiggling them every day. But what happens is she was getting pain from them, so I used the ozonizer and it actually stopped her teeth from hurting. We didn't have to go and get her teeth pulled, so that was definitely a plus. All right, so the next one's gonna be my electric toothbrush. Most people probably already know about this one, but man, has this thing been a game changer. By using the electric toothbrush with a special needs kid, really helped me out because you gotta get in there with a regular brush, right? You gotta move around and everything, but this one, I basically stick my thumb on her upper tooth and like kind of pry her mouth open. I have to keep it open because they get distracted. Same thing with the bottom one. I'll pull her teeth down, but it makes it very quick. So you can just get in there and really do an extra scrub and keep her teeth clean. And relatively, we've had almost no cavities. For myself though, it's definitely brightened my teeth. I'm going through the Invisalign right now. Those of you watching this, try to get my girls straight. But yeah, for when you're going through the Invisalign, it's a must. If you're gonna do the Invisalign whole thing, the teeth treatment to straighten your teeth, you need to have one of these guys to clean out the trays, the plastic goes around your teeth, because it's disgusting and using a brush will just kill you. So yeah, definitely saves time, but I think it's definitely worth its investment. You can also use it as a vibrator on your tomatoes and stuff like that, your vegetables. Tomatoes, for those of you who don't know, they have male and female flowers, and they depend on bees to go from one flower, which are above, usually the females on the bottom, they'll carry the pollen to the lower flower by getting the nectar, whereas if you got an electric toothbrush and you stick it right on the stem, it'll actually vibrate the whole plant and the pollen will fall from the flowers on the top and inseminate the female ones on the bottom. Thought I'd throw that in there, little trick. Electric toothbrushes, yeah. Bug light. I'm not too fond of these bug lights, as for those of you who know me, I'm into preserving nature and trying not to kill stuff. I think everything has a right to be here, such as the moths and stuff like that. But mainly I got a bug light on the inside of my house only, which was given to me. It's a little tiny one for the mosquitoes. We get munched over here in Sunnyside, Southern California. And I mean bitten alive. And they'll get in the house sometimes and I won't be able to find them. You put that on, it zaps them out. I think I've gotten one moth in the 2 years that I've used it. And some of those eat holes in your clothes and stuff like that. So inside my house, I'm like, look, we're gonna do something about it, all right? Outside, it's fair game. You do whatever you guys gotta do. But inside my house, I'm not having mosquitoes or the moths. I really don't care about the moths if they weren't eating the clothes, you know, putting holes in them. So yeah, Bug Light is definitely a game changer. This particular brand is supposed to have like this little sonic sound thing that's supposed to keep rats away. Doesn't work. It's full of shit. Doesn't do shit, man. But that Bug Light is definitely worth its weight in gold. Another good tool you guys might want to consider is a jumper pack. I think it's Cat makes one at Costco. I bought it. I didn't really care for it too much. What was nice though is they'll jump start your car. You can has USB ports so that you can plug in your cell phones to get a charge off of it. It's got a big old light on it. For more money, I'm able to jump start my entire big ass truck. So I'm not sure if it'll do a giant diesel, but it'll do a diesel pickup truck. For those of you who don't know, it has 2 batteries to get the motor cranked started. But this thing's got like, I think 4 or 5 times you can jump off one charge. You can jump a big ass truck like mine. So in an emergency situation, I think that this thing would become very valuable. It doesn't have as many ports, USB ports, as the Cat portable charging station does. But hey, in an emergency, you can charge all your stuff up, at least one phone at a time. It's got a light, and it's going to last a hell of a lot longer than that little tiny jumper that they're selling. I think it's over at Costco. But yeah, this charging port will, if you're stuck on the side of the road, it'll help you. If you're in the dark, it'll not only jump your car, but set a light so you can change a tire. If you're able to do those sort of things. And I really love the transportability of having that power pack to be able to charge. I think your cell phone you can do probably like 20 or 30 times or some shit like that. I can't remember. It was a ridiculous amount of time. And it's built very, very well. I think it did a few other things that I can't remember off the top of my head, but a jumper pack is definitely something you guys would want to keep in your vehicle. One thing I like is I can charge it off the sun, off my solar power system, or I can charge it off my batteries of my truck while I'm driving. And it takes, I think in like half an hour, I get a full charge. So pretty cool little gadgets there. One of my tools was for my soil was my cement mixer. This one's kind of like the drill, the cordless nail gun that I was talking about. Most people probably aren't going to want to get a cement mixer for the purposes I'm going to share with you here. But if you are gardening, my particular systems, it's called the Biodegradable Container Gardening, which you can find at YouTube. We just started posting. It's Biodegradable Container Gardening, YouTube, I guess, /YouTube. But yeah, what I basically did is it became my tractor. So if you are gardening and mixing soils, me in particular, I'm doing container gardening. So I don't really need to plow and till and do all these different things. But what I do need to do is mix. So every time I plant something, I've got to add some compost. So I basically throw my entire container in this cement mixer, and I turn it on spin, and then I throw my compost, and it mixes everything all perfect and uniform. And I'm getting ahead of myself here though too, but when you get compost, you need to sift it, right? And I would say if you're doing more than like 10 containers, you have a larger than a 10 by 10 foot garden, you might want to invest in a sifter like this to sift out all your soils, sift out your compost and things like that. Basically what I did is I got a plastic 5-gallon drum, and I drilled a bunch of 4-inch holes around it, and then I lined the whole thing with 1/4-inch mesh, metal meshing inside, so it's like basically a net basket kind of in there. Then I fabricated myself some bolts, and this fits on my cement mixer now. Cement mixer doesn't do anything else but do the spinning force for me. So I have stacking functions with a cement mixer that literally is my tractor. I don't even need a hand trowel in my type of gardening system that I invented, the biodegradable container gardening. But it also works as a sifter, and I can sift out things like peat moss. If any of you guys have ever gardened with peat moss or coconut coir and you try to sift it, it's a pain in the ass. Doing this with the machine will get it done in like 1/8 of the time. Very well worth it. Sifting anything. So I thought I would throw that one in there. That one's not too big for most of you guys, but I love these examples to get you guys thinking of like what you guys can get for yourself. My aquaponics system, my /pond. It's not necessarily an aquaponics system. I've got about 3 large goldfish in there. I've got a waterfall that breaks the noise, because where I live, it's very noisy. So you get the sound of running water, which is soothing. You get to look at the fish, and it's really pretty. It's scientifically proven to relax you. But instead of having a filtration system for my goldfish, They're about like 3-4 inches long. One of them I think is like 6 inches long. They're huge. But basically what I've done is I've planted some mint, some peppermint. I've done some kale and tried various other things that didn't work. I found those 3 do very well. And so I'm growing food on the top section and mint for tea. That's what I mentioned earlier was my hot water pot maker. Me and my daughter will heat it up in 2 minutes. We lean over your chair. You almost don't even have to get up. Pick a couple mint leaves, throw them in a glass, put a tablespoon of honey and lemon in there, and drop your mint leaves, fill it up with water, it says, mix it up, and you got yourself some nice homemade hot mint fresh tea, organic from the garden. What's cool though is those plants actually purify the water. They like the fish poop and the fish excretions, the fish urine, and it works as fertilizer. And in exchange, the plants let off, well, just not to get into crazy scientific detail here, they actually clean the water and oxygenate it for them to a certain extent. I've had this system going on for about 3-4 years now, and I've never cleaned it, never done anything, and harvested lots of produce off the top of it. So pretty cool pond / aquaponics. The thing is I haven't found it anywhere on the internet where people are actually growing the food with the fish. You usually have to separate them because it is said that the fish will eat the roots and kill the plants. I found this with lettuce to be true, but not kale, dino kale to be exact, and not peppermint or spearmint. And it gives them some vegetation in there. They actually eat live off the roots too. They prune them constantly. So yeah, you won't see anything like that where everything's all in one. So I thought that was pretty neat. One of my newest things I just bought was a USB rechargeable, heavy, I think it's 15 lumens LED flashlight. I do have the power pack flashlight and things like that, but when you're camping or sometimes working on auto mechanics or crawling underneath the house or in an attic or just multiple times you need a flashlight, these portable rechargeable flashlights are awesome because you could plug them into the wall of your home off AC electricity, or you can plug them into your car battery or USB port and charge them off solar. The old one I bought, wasn't really working out too well as far as the plug, because I lost the plug basically that goes into the wall, and then the DC one just broke. It was a cheapy one. So this time I invested about $35-40 into a really good spotlight flashlight. Like I said, definitely comes in handy when you're camping. If you hear a noise outside or something, coyotes running around. But the USB is a game changer. Now I can charge that thing anywhere, and it's a normal USB that you can use off other stuff too. The port you can rob from your cell phone and charge this flashlight. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's got different settings where it flashes, so in case you need an emergency, again, 1500 lumens, you start flashing that thing, somebody's gonna see you. The last thing I got here for you guys is actually my camper on my truck. My truck in general, I love this thing. It does so much for me. So as you guys can see, if you're watching or listening, I'm driving home from work. I've got all my tools being hauled behind me in this trailer, which weighs about 6 tons. It's kind of hard to podcast and pay attention to everything while I'm driving. That's why I'm not looking into the camera all the time. But yeah, it serves so much. My camper, for my special needs daughter, which is, she's gonna be 13 this 2021, and it's very disgusting to take her in men's restrooms. We have the privacy and more comfortable to changing a diaper with someone laying down instead of standing up is very difficult. But it's a glorified diaper fucking changing station, I think. I've got a bed in there that I built along the side. So she just lays down in there and we do our thing. Sometimes I need to change her and stuff like that. When we go visit family, again, you guys know I have lights, a fan, USB, internet, everything all set up in it. Is it the prettiest? No, but it's paid for. I'm debt free. It's built like a tank. I'll have it for the rest of my life. But yeah, it's really bitching that how many things it does, like for camping. When I take my kids, we literally live in it for 3-4 months. We just travel, we stay light. We don't have a trailer behind us, so we can go over rivers and go way deep into the forest, out in the wilderness. And yeah, my truck and my trailer is just awesome. I sleep with my oldest daughter in the bed of the back here, because it's only a 4-foot bed with memory foam on it. And then with my truck, I've got this window that opens up. You guys can all see this on my YouTube channel. I posted it's a 2019 road trip, 2018 road trip, or mini retirement trip. I kind of made a little movie about our vacations to kind of show people what we do. But yeah, my daughter will go through the little sliding window and she'll sleep in the back seat, which I've got behind me here. And that's also lined with egg crates on the floor to bring it up level with the seat, and then lined with a whole bunch of memory foam. So she's got the best seat in the house. So we all fit in here comfortably. I used to have my dog. My dog would sleep on the floor in there in the camper with us. We got the fridge all set up for drinks and foods, and that really helps me out with work. Sometimes when I was able to work 7 days a week, I'd wear myself out. So it was kind of nice to take an hour and a half lunch, because I'd do like 12-hour days. So getting up at 5, 4 in the morning, you know, you give yourself a good workout, work till about 11, 12 o'clock. Trust me, guys, you do this for 7 days a week. After about a month of it, you will get tired. You almost get like the flu is what it feels like. That's how I got myself out of my hole from being in debt and wanting to get free. I put my nose down and went for it. But the point is, with that bed in there and the fan, I could literally be on my job, sit back and eat my lunch very comfortably. And I actually used to love taking just a little 30-minute or an hour nap, and that would help me work until dark. And I've got my own privacy. I can carry a lot of my own tools and stuff in there. I even got a solar water heater on the top. It's some I think it's 4-inch, ABS plumbing pipe that's black, so it gets hot from the sun, holds about 20 gallons. Again, with the special needs, it's nice to wash your hands when you're changing diapers, but also when you're at the beach and you go for runs like I do in the summertime, which I really didn't do that much this year. You can rinse off if you go for a swim, all the salt water, and it's all nice and warm. And in an emergency, you know, you got water. So it's all of these tools, to sum everything up, are the things that have helped me out a lot in my life. It's helped me streamline my life, as the last 2 shows I did of how to gain more freedom and how to survive in a recession, or in hard time survival. A lot of these things are investment, but a lot of them help you to gain back more of that time that's being taken from you, that you're allowing to be taken from you, when you can be utilizing these machines or utilizing this ingenuity to change your life forever. There's so many things that I've used that I haven't been put on here, like my cast iron pots and stuff I've had. They're dated back to like the 1901, one of them, I think so. It's like a collector's item. People pay like $600, but it's perfect non-stick. There's just so many things that we can do out there that are healthier, better for the planet, better for you, helps you save money, gets you more time, makes you happy, and actually serves you in many, many forms. A lot of these things that I spoke about today stack a lot of functions, meaning that they do one thing does very many things. Just as this last one I showed you with my truck. Harbors my tools, lets me take naps. I can change diapers, go camping. Don't have to bother my family when we go visit. Live in the big city. I can sleep in their driveway and don't even need to hook up electricity. So it's so, I don't know, guys. Life should be getting better, and these things I think could help you out. I'm not claiming to have all the answers for everything, but I wanted to share a lot of the tools and stuff that I have, and hopefully inspire you guys to do the same and consider a lot of these things that will make your life easier, especially if you want to get out of the hole, and in some cases even survival, like that water filtration system I told you. I'll never be without water, fresh drinking water. Very important stuff, man. And whether times are good or bad, you know, whether the recession hits or the COVID spikes again, you know, you'll be in a better off place. So start designing your life, live it the way you want, and gain more freedom to just have fun and do nothing. Work on your dreams. So you guys check, it's Up and In It, the show. You can check it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. I post stuff on some things you won't find on other platforms. Some you find some of the similar things. But as always, guys, as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire, hume it up, live it, love it, own it, and bone it, my friends.